Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gwen, and this is my very first video that I'm going to do for my YouTube channel. I found that during this time that we've all been isolating ourselves from everybody because of COVID, that I've watched a lot of videos, and it's really helped pass the time. And I really like to see what people are working on and get a lot of ideas and learn quite a bit about other people and how they're coping with this lockdown. I've got a few favorite channels that I watch, and I watch them as soon as they upload them. I'm watching them right away. So I thought, there's not a lot of, I haven't come across anyway, unless I'm missing them, and there's not a lot of Canadian women doing YouTube videos showing their crafts, and I know that there's a lot that are really crafty and do some beautiful work. So I'm hoping that maybe more will come out and put some videos up and show us what they're working on, and see a lot of Canadian content and meet a lot of Canadian crafters. I've been working on quite a few things, actually, which I'm sure everybody else is too. I've got about 14 projects on the go. I used to limit myself to 4, no more than 4 projects. That went out the window when probably since the end of March. That went out the window. I probably have about 14 or more on the go. I'll show you some of the stuff I've been working on. As soon as I finish this up here, been finishing a lot of quilts that I started. This one is I don't have move some stuff out of the road here. I'm sure people have, if you're in the quilting world, I'm sure that you've seen this Bigfoot quilt. A lot. And it was a lot. I did this for my grandson, and my friend Doris, she's got a long arm machine, so she quilted this for me. I changed the pattern a little bit, and I used minky for the Bigfoot instead of cotton, and I'm glad I did. It was lots of work, and I gave up trying to do the hand with minky, so I did do the hand in cotton, because it was just no way, minky wasn't working. But it worked really well for the rest, and I love it. So I'm just sewing the binding on, and then this quilt is going out the door to my grandson, to Lyndon. It's his turn for a quilt. Then I have one grandson left, Chase, that needs to get a quilt. And then I finished this one. I used to call it my chicken quilt the whole time I was working on it. It's really big, so I can't open up the whole quilt, but my friend Doris quilted this for me too on her machine. And look at all the chicken tracks. So I just finished the binding on this yesterday. So the only thing I have left to do is to put the buttons on the eyes of the chickens. I don't know if you can see. It's a really nice quilt, and it's a really big quilt. Motor mouth myrtle. That's what that chicken's called. I think every chicken on here is a little bit of my personality. Forever. Simply Silly Sally Sue. Grumpy. There's a few of them. It's a very nice quilt. The pattern, I'm gonna make it again. I really enjoyed working on this. It was lots of fun. The pattern is by Turning 20 by Trisha Cribbs, and it's called Hen Folks. And I got this pattern from Mama Bears. She has a shop in Ashland, and she's got another shop in Brandon. And she knows what patterns really catch my attention, because she's pointed out a couple to me now that she knew I would like. But this was lots of fun to work on. So, not sure, this is all done. I just gotta put the buttons on it, and then it's going out the door. Not sure who to yet. Most likely it'll go to my mother-in-law. She'd like this. And what else did I do? Oh, I did finish this, stitch this tablecloth or wall hanging. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to use it for a tablecloth in my camper. And it was by it's designed by Old Crow Primitives. It's really nice. This was a kit that caught my eye from a little shop I just came across by accident one day online, the Cotton Harvest Quilt Shop in Ontario. Full of primitive stuff, and I love primitive fabric and colors, and that shop caught my eye right away, and I probably placed about 3 or 4 orders with her since I found her. And I'm waiting for another order to come in, but mail's a little bit slow, which is understandable because a lot of people are shopping online right now. I ordered this from her. These are wool threads. I like them so much I had to make myself a case to put them in, to carry them around, because I like to take stitching out to the camper on the weekends. But it's really nice. The colors are beautiful. It's wool, 100% wool from it's called Rustic Wool Morier. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's really, really nice. Nice colors. I've been using it to stitch wool, and I used it to stitch flannel too. and it stitches up really, really nice. It feels really nice. The only thing you have to remember is not to use such a long strand when you're stitching, because of course it's wool, so it frays easy. So I've been using about a foot length, and that seems to work really well. But oh man, really, really nice. I love the colors, I love the feel of it, and it looks really nice when you're stitching with it. I was a true Valdani fan, but I found a new love, I'll tell you. I got another pattern, two patterns actually from her, from the Cotton Harvest Quilt Shop. Primitive Gatherings, Lisa's Flower Garden. I have a scrap bucket that you would not believe the size of my scrap bucket. It is huge. So anything that I can find to use up scraps, I'm using it. Because they're too nice to throw out, but they're not big enough to make anything decent out of. So they go in a scrap bucket, and I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even going to show you how big that scrap bucket is. But it needs some attention, so I figured I'd better find some scrappy things to work on to use some of it up. This is another one that caught my eye from her shop. It's called Wishing for Spring by Cricket Street Wool, and it's a wall quilt, 29 by 39. I hope you can see that without a glare on it. It's really, really nice. I don't know when I'm going to start those two, but I can tell it's going to be soon. I've got one quilt almost finished, so I've got to get this, done. This is going to be a project that I need to get finished because I'm almost finished. I've only got one block left to do, but I've made this quilt, believe it or not, 3 times. I really, really like this quilt. I made it all in flannel, and it was a block of the month from the Quilt Patch in Moose Jaw, but you can still get their patterns, but they're closed. They retired, so they're not open anymore. But I probably have all their patterns. That's how much I like, and I really miss that shop. But I've got all the blocks almost done. They're all stitched. They're all ready to go. They're beautiful. I just love these fall colors. So I'm hoping I have one more block. That's all I have. So this is gonna be on I put it on brought it out of the closet and put it on my get done list. So I have one more block left to, it's already prepped. I just have to stitch it. And then I've been working on these bags I take out to the lake. These projects I take out to the lake. I've been working on by Buttermilk Basin. I don't know if you can see it behind me, hanging on the wall. I've been working on that, and the centers change. You can change them out every month. So I've got this one prepped, and that one's going out to the lake, so I can stitch it the next time I go out to our camper. That's September. I think February is hanging up there. And then I have August. This is all by Buttermilk Basin. I love Buttermilk Basin patterns. They're beautiful. So when I get those finished, those months finished, I can order a couple more because I think there's one for every month. Oh, and then there's this fun. I don't know what I did with the, hopefully the pattern's inside. Oh, it is too. Right on. This one, I bet you I've had this pattern 10 years. And I was digging through my stash and I figured I'm gonna take that out and do it. It's Crows in the Corn, designed by Kenna Reynolds and Donna Malone. I don't even know where I got this pattern. That's how long I've had it. But it caught my eye this spring. There's my little snippet. And I started hauling it to the lake and I've been stitching it. It's just gorgeous. I want to make a big pillow out of this, and that's going to stay in the camper. I have a lot of this kind of stuff in my camper, so I got a little, not quite half done. Not quite half done, but it'll be finished this summer, I hope. I'm gonna just say I'm gonna finish it this summer and get it done. See what I mean by about 14 projects? Here's another one that I got from the Cotton Harvest quilt shop. It was a kit and it really caught my eye. She sends you pictures, you see, and then you get sucked in and you gotta buy it. Something catches your eye in the store and you're, oh, squirrel, I gotta get that. This was by the Woolen Needle. It's called the Pumpkin Patch, and it's all wool. And I've been using the wool thread I got from her to stitch this, and it's getting there. I still have to do all the vines and embroider all the vines and everything on it, but that's another camper project. So you see, when I pack to go to the camper, I pack bags. I make bags too. So whatever I need a project bag for, I make a bag and then I haul them all to the camper. Every weekend. When we're going to the camper, these bags come with me. When I get tired of working on one, then I start another one. And I think that's, well, there's another one, but I can't show you because I know my granddaughters are going to watch this video, even though they say they're not. I know they're going to. So I can't show you that one because it's a quilt that I'm making them for Christmas. So I'll have to wait and show that one later. But I think that's all I have on the go. So anyway, I do a little bit of quilting, a little bit of stitching. I make bags. I'm limiting myself. That's all I do. I don't do any other crafts because I don't have any room for any more crafts, and I would have to win a lottery to get into anything more. So I really hope we get to see some more videos of women putting up their crafts and what they're working on during this pandemic. I know there's a group of us women who used to get together in our community to go somewhere. We rent a space in a hall, and the hall rented us to us very cheap. So we get together on the weekends, and we used to get together on the weekends, and we would sew all weekend. And people would just come and go as they please, and I really enjoyed that because it was sure nice to see what everybody was working on and catch up with what everybody was doing. Now, things are changing because of the pandemic, so a lot of how I'm catching up on what everybody's doing is by using technology. So I've been chatting with some of the women on the computer to just to see what everybody's doing. But it sure is going to be nice when this is over with to be able to get back together again and spend the weekends together. Maybe go on some shopping trips. We live a long ways away from any major shopping centers, so I do a lot of my shopping I have to do online. And I'm not even sure if we're allowed to travel out of our province right now. I haven't been really watching the news. I quit watching the news. I figured it's too depressing, everything that's going on lately, so I'm just trying to stay away from the news and sticking to watching YouTube channels to watch this kind of stuff. So there's a few videos that I follow that I really like. As soon as they load a video, I go and watch them right away, or put them on when I'm in my sewing room, and I spend a lot of time in my sewing room, so I make sure I keep up on the channels that I really enjoy watching. So hopefully people will start watching mine and see some of the stuff that I'm working on too, and maybe even see some stuff that I get finished. But if nothing else, during this pandemic, I've been getting a lot of stuff finished. So that's good. Because my stash, I'm not even going to show you my stash, but it's starting to get down. So it'll be nice when I can maybe be able to take a trip and get to my favorite quilt shops and stock up on some stuff. I did pre-order my Tula Pink fabric. That's her new line that's coming out in October. I can't even wait to get it. It's beautiful. I just can't even wait to get it and sew a bag. I just love her fabric, and I go through a lot of her fabric. And I follow her too. I follow her on Instagram and YouTube, and I really enjoy listening to Tula Pink. But her fabric designs are just beautiful. But other than that, it's totally out of my color scheme too, because I'm really more of a primitive color palette, I guess you would call it. A lot of the fabrics that I choose and the patterns and things that I choose are quite primitive, but Tula Pink really catches my eye. She hasn't had a line of fabric yet that hasn't caught my eye. So her and Primitive Gatherings are probably my favorite to-go fabric. That and my favorite to-go sewing machine is Janome. I love Janome. And I don't know that I would want to sew on anything else. And they're not sponsoring me either. I'm a Janome fan. So I would really like to hear what other people are working on, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'm interested in what kind of crafts you're doing, and but I'd really like to hear from some Canadian people, and show us your stuff. Come online and show us your stuff. If I can set this up, believe me, anybody can set this up. I'm pretty lucky because I have some computer technology people in the family, so I learn a lot from them. But they're really busy, also a lot busier than I am. So sometimes I just get on the computer and figure it out for myself. And sometimes I think I surprise them and shock them. And when I told my granddaughters that I was going to start I haven't told my grandsons yet, but when I told my granddaughters that I was going to start a YouTube channel, there's, oh my God. They said they're not going to watch, but I know they're going to watch. Those two granddaughters, I'll tell you, they keep me on my toes. So do the grandsons, but the granddaughters are, sometimes I shock them, I think. Sometimes I like to shock them. I'm almost done. I think I might just actually finish this today and be able to give this to Lyndon soon. That'll be nice. It's always nice to finish something and get it out the door. So I don't know how much longer we're gonna be locked down. Well, we're not really locked down right now. I think they're starting to open things up slowly and as safe as they can. They're hopefully it'll go well. We've been actually really fortunate in Manitoba, is we've had 200 and some cases, but I believe most of them are okay now. And we had a couple, we've had quite a few days. We've had more days in the last couple of weeks without any cases of COVID than we've only had a couple. So that's really good. But I think everybody's really been paying attention and being careful too, so that's good. So hopefully we can keep it up and get back to whatever the new normal is going to be once this is all over with. I know I'll be glad to be able to just be able to go out and go and do some shopping or whatever without having to worry about staying away from everybody. I haven't been going too far. I had a back spasm for a little while, so my husband was doing all the running around that needed to be done we're really fortunate here too, because we have a grocery store that you can order. You can send them your list on email and they'll do your shopping and deliver it for you. So we're pretty lucky that we've got some awesome stores. Usually when you're in a smaller community, that's usually the way it is. They go above and beyond to help you out. So I'm going to be excited to get this quilt out. This was a lot of work, this quilt. I am not a big person on sewing little pieces together, and there was a lot of pieces in this quilt. So when I finished this quilt, I said, that's probably why I don't have the pattern, because I think I gave it away. I said, I'll never make it again. Never. So usually when I say that, it's because that quilt was a lot of work. More than what I'm usually willing to put into a quilt. But Lyndon really liked this. My grandson really liked this quilt. So I thought, for you, I will do it. But it'll be the only one that I make anyway. I know a lot of other people have made this quilt. But I'm sure glad I used the Minky on the Bigfoot. We finally got a little bit of sun here. I'm hoping that it stays out now. We planted our garden, what little garden we have. And I planted my herb garden, and 2 nights in a row now we've had to go out and cover it up so that the plants didn't freeze. It got pretty chilly. So hopefully we won't have to cover it up anymore. That'll be the end of the fear of frost. I know we have a basset hound and he's outside on the front step in the yard suntanning. And he must be enjoying himself because he's not one to stay outside unless he is comfortable. He doesn't like to be cold and he doesn't like to be hot. So he must be just enjoying himself today, or he would be woofing at the door wanting to get back in. It was a good weekend. My husband was on call this weekend. He actually got called in this afternoon, so I figured I'll spend the afternoon in the sewing room and maybe do a video while he's at work. We went out to the camper last weekend. We have a camping spot, a seasonal camping spot out at Rocky Lake, at Rocky Lake Cabins. And oh, we love it out there. We've been out there for a few years and our kids are out there too. So we often spend our weekends out there when we can. But I think it's kind of, even though the sun is out, it's kind of chilly this weekend. So I'm kind of glad it's the weekend he's on call, so we didn't go. So, but next weekend, I'll haul my bags, my project bags, and Friday I get a haircut. Finally, I have not had a haircut since March. And I find the hairdressers are finally allowed to open now, so they still have to be careful, but they're opening. So I have an appointment Friday. Thank goodness, because my bangs are getting, the rest of my hair could manage quite well, but my bangs, and I just don't even want to touch them with the scissors, because I thought if I screw them up, then my hairdresser Cheryl will probably say, "What were you thinking?" So I got an appointment with her on Friday, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing her too. I always enjoy her visit. Other than that, I'm really hoping to try and put a video out at least. I'm going to try once a week. Maybe it'll be, I'm not sure what day. I'd like to keep it on a regular basis and have it maybe on the same day. I'm not sure yet. But when I reach, I'm a bag maker. I make bags. Believe me, I make bags. I've made, I don't even know how many bags I've made, but I make a lot of bags. And I'm going to, when I get 500 subscribers, I'm gonna have a giveaway, and I'm going to make a really nice set. Maybe next week I'll show you that set if I get a chance to get it made. But I'm gonna make a really nice set of bags. If I get 500 subscribers, I'm gonna make a really nice set of project bags to give away. So you'll have to keep tuning in. I love making bags. I use a lot of bags. So do my friends. They use a lot of bags too. I make them a lot of bags. I make all kinds of little things, but you know what my most favorite bag? My most favorite bag is this bag, because it's carrying this wool. But I have a few of those bags. I made one for my Valdani wool too. I love Valdani wool. So, but I like these little bags. I make a pile of these little bags. I have them all over the place. I keep my clips in them. I have one by my sewing machine over there. I have one over here. And when one gets full, I switch places with them, because I put the clips on here and then I take them off at the sewing machine. So I switch places with them, and I always got a full bag sitting here. But those are handy little bags. And then all my tools. I got lots of junk. I got junk, not junk. It's treasures, but it's, I've got it all over the place. I'm really fortunate that I have a sewing room. And I got gadgets. I bet you everybody's got gadgets. My special scissors. I love scissor charms. I have charms hanging on everything. So, I never have anything, I think, without a charm hanging on it. For tools, anyway. I have like 3 feet left, and then I'm finished. Whoa, Lyndon, you're going to get your quilt. I've been working on this for a long time. I don't even know how long, but it's been a long time. Not a year. Maybe a year. It's been a while. But anyway, I should get going, and should probably go start some supper in case my husband does get home soon. And I'll certainly put out another video next week, so I really hope that you come back, and I really hope that you show me what you're working on, and show me some of your patterns that you're planning on working on. All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again hopefully next week. Bye-bye.